everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I can't believe that 2020 is almost over and we're about to hit 2021. I'm actually quite excited for the new year, but also a little bit nervous since it'll be my last year of school, so next year's gonna be a pretty big year for me. But yeah, today I'm just setting up my January bullet journal setup, and I was quite inspired for this month by a sticker sheet that I bought, just because I always hoard my stickers. Like, let me know in the comments down below if you do the same, but I always tend to not use the stickers that I buy because they're too pretty, and then by the time I'm like, oh, I should probably use them now, and the back of the stickers are kind of like half sticky but like not that sticky anymore. So I thought that if I did a spread with it, I'd be able to use that sticker sheet before it became like that. Basically, for this month, I wanted to keep things quite simple but add some cool textures. So I had a piece of black paper, and then I used Posca markers and acrylograph pens on top, which I actually think turned out really nice. I had some metallic greens, and then I added a metallic gold at the end just to give it a bit of like cool kind of sparkle to it. And then on the craft paper for, I don't know what you would call this, like lake creature dinosaur thing, but yes, for this I originally used Posca markers, but I didn't quite like the color of it, so I ended up going over on top of it with like this light baby blue kind of color, which I liked a lot better. And I had to do a few coats of this to get it quite opaque, but yeah. The month of December actually went so quickly that it doesn't really feel like January's coming. I don't know if you guys felt the same, but like Christmas just didn't feel like Christmas this year, and then now it's like, oh wow, the new year's coming. And yeah, I feel like this year has just been so different that everything doesn't feel the same anymore. Now I'm just kind of colouring in all the pieces of craft paper that I cut with the Posca marker, and now I'm just gluing everything down with the Kokyo dot liner, I think it's called. But yeah, this is one of my favorite stationery discoveries. It is so good. I highly recommend if you hate getting glue on your hands and you always end up with like sticky fingers after you use glue, because this dot tape is like amazing. It is mess free and it's also really convenient to bring around, so I highly recommend you check it out if you don't like using glue. Next, I'm just kind of moving on to my calendar spread, and for this month, since I don't have like a lot of assignments or anything since we're currently on holidays, I just did it on one side of the paper instead, since I didn't really need the boxes to be really big, since I felt like I didn't really need to fit a lot of things in there. And next to it, I just kind of drew some doodles for the header, which are also on the sticker sheet. And yeah, I did these with the acrylograph pens and also the Pentel Sign pen. And I'm actually really enjoying using the acrylograph pens, I would say. They're really good quality, and I also really like their design, since I feel like with the Posca markers they're more bulky, so they may be harder to travel with, but with the acrylographs there are a lot of color variety that are more like muted tones, I'd say, which I really like, and also it's really convenient to bring around as well. I then just added the dates to the calendar, and originally I thought about doing like color bubbles or things like that for the numbers, but then I thought that would just make things look too busy, so I ended up just keeping it very simple, just with the black fine liner, and then I did some doodles underneath to kind of balance it all out. And yeah, I really like how this page turned out. I then discovered that it looked really nice with the yellow or like gold kind of acrylic graph, and I did like kind of dots around it, so I guess it could be like pollen, but it looked really nice, and I thought it helped brighten up the color and the doodles a bit more. And in the end, I actually went back and added washi tape to my January spread, but I didn't end up videoing it. But yeah. Next, I have my trackers page, and for this page I also kept it really simple since I'm really bad at keeping up with my trackers, so I ended up just doing 2 for this month and then having a currently box underneath. I did this in my planner actually, I think last year, and I really liked it, so I think I'll do it again. But basically what I do in the currently box is I have a few like prompts where I'll just be like my favorite music, favorite food, favorite drink, I don't know, that kind of thing, and then which I'll kind of just keep track of at the end of each month for a bit of like memory keeping about what I was doing at that time or like how I was feeling. I also thought maybe I would do this as like a little journal at the end of each month where I just kind of write something about how I felt about the month, but I haven't quite decided yet which one I will go with. But yeah, they're kind of like my plans for this box. In keeping with the theme, I again had the craft paper and I drew the same kind of tree on top of it, but this time I didn't use the metallic gold. But yeah, I really liked the look of the craft paper and I thought it really looked nice to balance out the whole spread. I also added another piece, and for this one I just kind of had my YouTube and also Instagram, and this is where I'll kind of like jot down some ideas of what I want to do for that month. And then underneath I just kind of had a notes section, which I think some people call a brain dump, but yeah, I just kind of call it my notes section where I can just write down some random things here and there. Here I just started colouring in the icons and also adding some doodles around the page to like balance out with the other page as well. And obviously these colours were in the colour scheme, but you can definitely change up the colours to whatever suits you. And yeah, but now I'm just kind of writing in the same lettering as I've been using with the rest of the theme. And actually originally I didn't colour them in, but then I felt like it looked better having it coloured in, so it made it stand out a bit more and I ended up colouring all of them in. Actually, a tip I'd say for drawing these lines kind of free-handed is having something to lean your hand on. So like for example, before I'd kind of turned my bullet journal around so my hand was actually leaning on the page of the bullet journal, because if I were to draw like the one that's on the edge of the page, that one would be quite hard since there's the gap between my bullet journal height and the table. So that's something to keep in mind if you would also like to do that. On the next page I just had my quote page, and I chose "Trust the magic of new beginnings" as my January quote, since 2020 was quite a rough year for most of us, I'd say, and so I wanted to start the year off on a more positive note and just kind of, I guess, have a fresh start. For this spread, I'm again using the acrylic graph pens for the lettering, and I then chose the Crayola Supertips to do the calligraphy, and I'm still trying to get the hang of it since I don't really use the Supertips for my calligraphy. But yeah, I'm still working on it, but I really enjoy using it actually, since there are a lot of colors available, so I think that's one of the great things about using it for calligraphy. And underneath I just use my Sakura Pigma micron pens. I usually use this pen that you see here, which is the Pentel Sign pen for calligraphy. They came out with a set of new colors and I really like them. The thing I love about these pens is that the tip is just the right flexibility for me. I find that with the Tombow Fudenosuke, I think they're a great beginner pen, but for the hard tip, I find that sometimes it's a bit harder to get the line variation, which comes across a lot easier with the Pentel Sign pen. But I think the great thing about the Fudenosuke is that actually you can use it for like a fine liner since it's hard tipped, but you can also add in that line variation with a lot of control. After that, I just went in with my fine liner to add kind of like a shadow behind the word, and I really liked how this spread turned out, and yeah. To finish up, I just added some washi tape, and I actually didn't like how I added the full length, so you'll kind of see at the end that I kind of ripped up the washi tape in half to make it more, I guess, kind of like rustic, but not really rustic, that's not the right word, kind of, I guess, less imperfect with the edges to make it kind of more, I guess, cool, because before I felt like it looked too structured with the straight edges, but now it just comes across a bit softer. Next, I'm setting up my weekly spread, and I also kept this quite simple with just boxes, and since it's the holidays and I don't have a lot to do, I decided that I would do one weekly on one page rather than across the 2 pages, and I just kind of did it with boxes in the different colors of my color scheme. And this is a sticker sheet that my whole theme was inspired by. It's the Yama Life sticker sheet from the shop Washi Gang. And yeah, I just ended up adding a few stickers from the sticker sheet to complete the spread. Also, the reason why you're seeing me move the sticker sheet around in different places is actually just me seeing which sticker would fit best in which spot without me actually taking it off and sticking it on. And yeah, here is my January bullet journal setup all done. I had a lot of fun making this spread. If you'd like to check out my 2021 bullet journal setup, I'll have the video linked below and also in the cards. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and turn on post notifications. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!